I think we have to buckle up for a Tykee Smith storyline this offseason.
Yeah, we've been kind of touching on it. People have been asking about it. We've been discussing it on the message board for several days now. Details are weird. Don't know the details. Neil Brown shared a little bit of them today. Said that Tykee Smith got in an accident and said he hadn't been practicing. We'd been, again, the discussion on our board was practice. Everybody was supposed to report back on December 17th. Tykee Smith was not in Morgantown on December, or he might have been December 17th, but sometime between December 17th and December 23rd, when they were practicing, he was not there. And again, Neil Brown kind of confirmed that today, said he wasn't practicing. He didn't say he wasn't in Morgantown, but it was weird. Everybody's trying to tell us nothing's going on, but we're hearing something's going on. And then right before the game, you said something's up. A lot of talk about Scotty Young leading up to this game. A lot of talk about Scotty Young leading up to
Never made sense, right?
And sure enough, it made perfect sense for the exact reasons you said. Scotty Young's going to start. That's what happened. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, Scotty Young sighting Tykee Smith is nowhere to be found. Shows up for a drive in the second quarter. He was definitely out there. I saw him, my own two eyes. Number 23, T. Smith, out there playing on defense for a drive, maybe two. And then was not spotted by the same birdie who told me about Kendall on the sidelines. And then he's tweeting during the game, which
can't do it.
I'm not aware of many players who have their cell phones on the sideline or on the field. So we'll see. Neil Brown kind of didn't want to touch on it too much in postgame, to say at least.
Well, I wanted to touch on it.
Well, that's why they knew you wanted to touch on it. That's why you got cut off and didn't get to ask the question.
I understand people are going to think that I'm trying to stir it up, but there's something here. There just is. Like, you can't have a player who's not with the team the whole pre-bowl experience and doesn't start with a cell phone on the sideline tweeting. Was he on the sideline? Was he in the locker room? What's he doing? Is he just killing time? And it sounds like such a small thing. It drives coaches crazy because it's 120 people working for one thing, and when you got one guy who's doing something different isn't interested, that's unfortunately that's sometimes a sign. It's not always a sign. You know who else tweeted during a game once? Sean Alston, during maybe the bowl game, I think in 2010, and you're thinking, well, that's it for this guy, right? And he became a pretty productive player for Holgerson's first couple of seasons too. So I don't think it's by any means the end here, but it's not a good look for what wasn't a good, 2-3 weeks for Tykee Smith, and we'll see what happens. I think there are some off the field things here that probably have to be considered, and we don't get to adjudicate those things, which is probably for the best. That's coaches, but they're going to have to probably sit down and have a talk to figure out what they do in the future with one another, and if there is a future with one another, and see how it goes. Really good player. Honestly, wasn't missed today. Scotty Young looked at times pretty good for a guy who jokingly, all of a sudden he was the best player in the scout team and such an impact player, and they'll be fine. But he looked like he knew what he was doing there, and it wasn't a difference today, I don't think, too. But that was certainly a storyline they didn't want to have. And again, you have to address it sooner or later because that's going to pop up. Someone's going to say, wait a second, why was he congratulating Letty Brown on a 1,000-yard season during the third quarter? Isn't he in the game? Something happened there. Who knows?